Kill the charger. Gain life. Make a sluglet. Attack. Kill the Epicure. Right? So they don't. Hello, good game. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're all having a magical day. Thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. Playing with the deck I've called the Acid King, a jank standard deck focusing around slime counters, something you may have not seen before. Familiar with Toxrill? Sure, but do you know of the Sludge Monster and the Consuming Blob? We're getting down and dirty with an ooey gooey deck today, breaking down the strategies, the synergies held within the deck list, demonstrating all of this within today's gameplay footage, and then finally wrapping up with our final thoughts, deck review, and card of the day. Make sure to like the video to show your support, subscribe to the channel if you're interested in seeing more magical content like this on your feed, and let's take a look at the deck. Alright, the Acid King is a standard best of 1 60 card deck with a 3.6 average mana value. We have 14 creatures to our 22 non-creatures sitting on 24 land. This is a very merry mid-range deck with some really expensive spells here. You know, we've got 7 drops, we've got 6 drops that we're really looking to focus on. So in the beginning of the match, we want to be ramping, adding additional sources of mana to our collection, whether it's, you know, additional land or treasures, which we have access to here. Shambling Ghast is a 1/1 for 1. Whenever it dies, you get to choose one. Either create that treasure, which we absolutely love, or target creature and opponent controls will get -1/-1 until the end of turn. So it will actually act as a form of removal here as well. There's 2 copies of Deadly Dispute for 2 at instant speed. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature or an artifact. We will draw 2 cards and then create a treasure token. So this is an additional way to ramp. Sack the Ghast. Ghast makes a treasure. Dispute makes a treasure. You draw 2 cards. Let's go. We also have additional ramp through the Emergent sequence for 2 at sorcery speed. Search your library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. That land becomes a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature that's still a land. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each land that you've had enter the battlefield on your turn. So this is nice. We play a land, we play the sequence, it's a 2/2. We play a land, we play one of our other ramp spells. For a second land, we play the sequence, it's a 3/3, right? So we can get that working out quite well for us. And then finally, Path to the Festival for 3 sorcery speed. Search your library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. If there are 3 or more basic land types among lands you control, scry 1, right? So we have forests, we have islands, and we have swamps. We have each basic out while we path. We're going to get to scry 1, and that's actually fairly helpful. We can recast it from the grave through the flashback cost, which is even better. So ramping on 3, ramping on 4, as you know, you'll have, if you draw the land anyways, or have the land to play, which is pretty cool. So that's going to bring us now into the mid section of the game where we want to stabilize. This can be done a couple ways. So, you know, Emergent Sequence should be our only permanent in play, or the treasure should be our only permanent in play. That brings us to one of my favorite cards in the build that's actually not a slime, but still slippery enough. Consuming Tide for 4 at sorcery speed. Each player chooses a non-land permanent they control. Return all non-land permanents not chosen this way to their owner's hands. When you do this, you'll draw a card for each opponent who has more cards in their hand than you do, right? So you're balancing everything except for your land, right? Fantastic. Absolutely loving this. And then we're going to be drawing a card because they'll probably have more cards in their hand than us. With that being said, we also have the Meat Hook, which can help stabilize for 2+X. When it enters the battlefield, each creature gets -X/-X until the end of turn. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. And whenever a creature you control dies, whenever a creature an opponent control dies, you'll gain 1 life, which is really good, right? So dealing 1 damage to them when one of our creatures dies, and when one of theirs dies, we're going to gain 1 life, which is absolutely fantastic. So where are all these creatures coming from that we're going to utilize the Meat Hook? Because we don't really always want to be just killing the sequence or the Ghast, right? We have more value to add here. And a lot of it comes into play through the Consuming Blob for 5. Its power is equal to the number of card types among cards in your graveyard, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. First things first, we have these new cards coming out in Kamigawa that are artifacts, creatures, and equipments. Wow, that's going to be really good for graveyard effects. And then at the beginning of your end step, create a green ooze creature token with this creature's power is equal to the number of card types among cards in your graveyards. The same as the blob, you know, power equal and then toughness that +1. Fantastic. So this is going to every turn create an ooze in which we can, you know, fill the field with, sacrifice with Deadly Dispute, chump block for the Meat Hook Massacre to really prolong that game and stretch things out. Speaking of prolonging the game and stretching it out, Glorious Sunrise. Fantastic for 5 and enchantment. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample until the end of turn. We're going wide with creatures eventually. This will give us lethal. Target land gains add tap for 3. So you're gaining 2 additional mana here. You know, your land's already going to tap for 1. So now it's tapping for 3 +2 mana. Helpful within the ramp feature of the deck. Draw a card if you control a creature with power 3 or greater. We'd love to refill our hand. Or gain 3 life just for the survivability. That's very good as well. So that's going on there. Moving on, we do have the Sludge Monster for 5. Now, getting into some of these slime tokens that I'm so excited about. 5/5 creature horror. Whenever the Sludge Monster enters the battlefield or attacks, put a slime counter on up to 1 other target creature. Non-horror creatures with slime counters on them lose all abilities and have base power toughness of 2/2. Very cool beans, right? So these slime counters will be used to reduce the creature's power and toughness if it's stronger than 2/2. Keep in mind, you could be powering things up, which you might not want. However, dropping the abilities off creatures is so good. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to, you know, be stopping some of these creature abilities, which are so powerful a lot of the times. And then Toxrill the Corrosive for 7 as a 7/7, a slug horror. And at the beginning of each end step, put a slime counter on each creature you don't control. This is fantastic, and creatures you don't control get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. Whenever a creature you don't control with a slime counter on it dies, create a slug. So, you know, putting slime counters on everything, you know, whenever creatures with slime counters on them, they're going to lose all their abilities, and their base power and toughness is going to get all messed up, right? Which is really cool. So these 2 cards working together very, very well. And then, you know, flooding the field with Storm the Festival for 6, replaying it from the grave for 10, sorcery speed, looking at the top 5 cards of our library and putting 2 cards with mana value 5 or less directly into the battlefield, which is really good. So, you know, hopefully getting a Sludge Monster, hopefully getting a Blob, and maybe even a Sunrise is all super duper acceptable, especially if you're getting multiples, as that's going to, you know, 10 mana value for 7. That's really, really good stuff, right? Especially when we're ramping into it, we're resetting their field, so they've not ramped. If we've bounced 4 things and they can only play 1 per turn, that's going to give us a lot of wiggle room to kind of establish that end game dominance that we're looking for. That is the entire deck. You know, pretty basic on lands. You know, you can make it more fancy if you want, but, you know, we're just kind of having fun with the slugs. It's fairly competitive, but by no means tuned for Mythic, as we are demonstrating all of this today in the play queue. Just having some fun with some new decks within a new meta, right? Cheers to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video to show your support. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested in seeing more magical content like this in the future. And yeah, let's enjoy today's gameplay footage. On the draw, we have ramp, which is, you know, worthwhile. Is it pretty good, yeah? We can just land out. I mean, there's no need to play tapped. We could if we want, but Sculptor of Winter, decent. Another ramp for next turn, which is pretty good as well. I guess, well, you know, we have black sources. I don't think we really need anything. Right, we've got a second green, we've got a second blue, and we've got 1 black. I guess we will need a second black at some point for the hook or Toxrill. Hit for 2, down to 18. 3 mana up for our opponent. Land in play. That takes us to 4. Which is great. Emergent out for a swamp. And then we pass turn. Ooh, no. I don't care. I'd rather hold up Deadly Dispute. Sack a land, make a treasure, draw 2. The land is replaced through the treasure, but is now a consumable. Not something that's going to replenish itself every turn. I don't even... Replenish probably is not the right term, but... Doesn't continue to put out. It's a 1 and done, alright? Or 4 in play. Take our turn. Land out. We only have a sorcery. blockers are good, but also creating this into a 2/2 is very good as well. I think they have a snakeskin. The dispute on the blob token is very good. That's kind of what we want to go for, but at the same time, it's like, well, maybe let's get that sludge monster out and just shut down everything good they play. Right, and now the blizzard, if they have a blizzard brawl, it's not going to kill our sludge monster. Zimone, Quandrix Prodigy for 2 mana, a 1/2, pay 1, tap it. You may put a land card from your hand into the battlefield tapped. Pay 4, tap it, draw a card. If you have 8 or more lands, draw 2 cards instead. Woof. So let's blob it out. And we need to deadly dispute some things to get mana for Troxel. I don't really want to have it lose its ability. Or it doesn't have an ability. It just happens to be a land. The land will go to 4. Should we go for it? I'm most certain this works. Right, now we'll go to 4/4. They go for the Tripskis! Yeah, we kill the 2 with abilities. I mean, we've got another sludge monster. Good on him. We'll make that token. Sludge monster engrave, which actually pushes up the consuming blob, because now there's an sorcery engrave, and there's also a creature, right? Consuming blob is going to love these artifact creature equipments. You know what I mean? Oh, no. Really want to go for it. So this has a slime counter on it already. So it's going to gain -1/-1 as soon as Troxel enters, which is pretty cool. Now attacks, consuming blob will make another slime. And Foxrill. The names on these cards, you know what I mean? It's a snow day! They're tapping us. We're locked out till next turn. And they draw and discard. We make the jump blocker though, so do not care. And then we can kind of put more tokens, the slime tokens primarily, on our opponent. We could add Vorinclex for double slime tokens. That could be fun. Alright, that would definitely be interesting. Ooh! Okay. The plot thickens. Getting hit for 3. They're tapped out. They have 1. Interesting. 4. Down to 14. The majority of our goods remain tapped, and we can kill the Spirit of Aldergard here as the sludge monster enters. And I guess we're going to push up this other forest. Make a sludge. Let's smash. I mean, how do you not take 8 damage, right? Let's just get after it. Make another token. So we have plenty of defenders, right? They're going to need to Cyclone Summon us. I probably shouldn't say that out loud. I like it. I think we're in good shape. Sculptor of Winter. You know, that's a last-ditch effort to defend. Bubble Snare. They really like tapping our creatures. So the Sculptor will auto-die because it gets -1 on our their end step, and then, you know, on ours as well. And, yeah. It's just a fun deck. Going first, 3 lands into ramp, fantastic. Black Source in play in case we top deck a Shambling Ghast. That's not it. It's alright though. I mean, mono red, attacking, you can take those abilities away from them. Alright, it's not the worst. We'll need a secondary black source here, I suppose. I mean, we have one in hand, but take another. We have 2 blue, we have 2 green. Stormseeker. Oh, wow. 1, 2, 1, 2. Should we wipe the field? I'm thinking yes. Very much so. Or do we wait and try to get another one? Tempting to wait. What if they kill us? Let's keep ramping. Take a blue source. You're just so good. Especially with the Ghast in play. But we're gonna probably block, though. We'll see. Down to 16 here. I'd like to see another creature enter play. Lure him in. Lure him in. Yes, 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 yes. Play some more creatures from your hand, little J. Dealing damage down to 14. It's pretty good. Reckless Impulse, untap. They draw. Oh, they get a Chandra. Nice. Push up the Charger. I guess we just block it. We don't want anything to die here, because we gain life when their things die, so we just make a treasure. While stopping, you know, some of the damage, half of it. And then we just take the wipe. It is what it is. Down to 11, and then we'll gain 4 life. Back to 15. It has negative power, so it doesn't deal any damage to us. The Charger, that is. Land in play, Chandra in play. 2 available. Well, actually, potentially 3 available mana through the +1 ability.
Go ahead. Fight me as hard as you can, because I'm real stubborn.
3 loyalty. Up to 4. They now have 3 available mana. Reckless Impulse for 2. Epicure in play. Decent. Down to 13. Doing the do. That is most certain. Just like having a 5/5 in play. Don't necessarily like making them a 2/2 though. So I'm going to submit 0. And chilling. End turn. Hold up Deadly Dispute. Hopefully we can top deck a Storm the Festival. Or a Toxrill. One of our payoffs. Six, potentially 7 mana available for them. They do have the 2 blood tokens as well. So they're exiling top of the library. It's a land.
Just improvise.
Not bad, right? They don't need another land. So there's nothing wrong with that. Play with fire for 3. Sorry, for 2. Down to 3. Royal Eruption. Nope. We're going to sack the Sludge Monster. Deal 1 damage to them. Create a treasure, which will be our second treasure. Draw 2 cards. However, we do get hit for 1. Down to 12. We need to kill Chandra. Sludge Monster out. Not really getting where we need to be. It can remain a 1/1. And I guess we just grab the token. Another blue source, I suppose. Well, let's make sure we have enough green sources. I'm not counted. We do, but, you know, and treasures, so doesn't matter, but just in case, as you know, the triple green, you know, sometimes hard to get to.
We should all follow our hearts.
I think they might be able to bully us out. Well, you say that. Sludge Monster will push up the forest. Did we do that wrong? Guess we should have put the slime counter on them. I thought they should have went to a 4/4. I'm so confused. Why didn't its base power and toughness go to 2/2? Plus the counter. How did Troxel? Because it's only creatures you don't control get --. Sacrifice a slug, draw a card. I don't think we have any slugs to sacrifice, right? But we will lose the forest. That's not fantastic. Gaining some life here. They have no creatures out to put a slime counter on. Why didn't our land become a 4/4? Like, we literally did that before. Oh, because it wasn't a 2/2 to begin with. It was probably a 1/1. Such a dingling. Because we didn't play a land that turn when we... I understand. I understand. I can actually remember previous turns today. That's incredible. Getting hit for 2. They do scry. Chandra's at 6, going to... Going to 7. Yikes. If they don't play a creature, we smack her. Right, so they need to draw off the top, I think. They have 6 mana. Maybe they just have like a finisher as well. They're close. They're close. We've got the Sludge Monster, though, that can enter. This Sludge Monster can put counters on things, and that should keep our attack lanes open.
Who needs a plan? Just improvise.
Reckless Impulse. Going for a little Diglett. Land and the Charger. Charger you'd think would help, but it won't. Because we slime counter them as soon as they enter, right, on the end step. So to play 1/1 is worthless, right? And it's just going to feed the meat hook. So they sack the blood to discard and draw. Epicure in play. We're down to 10. They make a blood token. And, yeah. It's each creature you don't control as well. So their end step, they get those counters, which is great. Kill the charger. Gain life. Make a sluglet. Attack. Kill the Epicure. Right, so they don't even get to declare blockers. We gain life. Make a slug. Chandra's dead. We hit for 5. There's a little bit of navigation needed there. But I think we're gonna do okay. Everything is just fine. Last card in hand. Don't think it's gonna do the job. Bloodthirsty Kicks. Where did they Reckless Impulse? I'm confused. I mean, they must. Play with Fire, Royal Eruption. It is Reckless Impulse. We can chump block, or even just, you know, get him with the 5/5. The Alchemist in hand. They should have kept that land to discard for the blood token, but each their own. Back to Slug. We do deal 1 damage to them. Draw a card. Take our turn. Blob it out. Let's swing in. We counter. Gain a life. Make a slug. Hit for 11. It's close. And then we take lethal through the slug. Game. They almost had us. They almost had us. That was a good game. I like that. Opponent goes first. No ramp. Sunrise is cool. And maybe Test of Talents helps us along the way. It's doubtable, but try our best. Get that green source in play for the emergent sequence that we're going to top deck. Not quite. Holding up the test at this point. Looks like they're doing a similar thing here. Your go. No. Ooh. Diagraph's Rebirth. Consider. So it's a reanimator deck. And they're reanimating the Hullbreaker. Toxrill. They have Field Wipes. Removal. Nice deck. Fading Hopes. It's all here. It's all here. It's all here. They do get a draw as one was exiled from their hand. Consider. Instant speed. Casting it while we're tapped. But we want to just save tests for their rebirth. Confirming 0 here, just to have it in play. I don't think they have any small creatures that we need to worry about. I'll give them a target for their binding, I guess. Well, fiddlesticks. Ramp out. Black, blue. We have plenty of everything. Let's just grab a green source, I guess. Doesn't matter. We're grabbing a forest here as well. Takes them 6. They're ready to rebirth. They know we have tests, so they're scared. They're scared of us. Path it up. You know, I have to let this deluge through. Even though I don't want to. Because we need to hold that counterspell. Land goes to the bottom. That scry was really nice. Well, we maybe should have kept that land, and then we could have played the slug, hold up the talents. But they just go right for the slug. Interesting. We're gonna play our own slug. You know what I mean? The slug off. Ouch. Why are you doing that to me, my bro? We can't do the draw. Because, creature that died this turn. Why didn't the cost of this go down? Our creature died. I'm a little bit confused. They chose not to rebirth either. Cool mirror match. They definitely have the drop on us, though. Draw. This is our end step, of course. Making a token. Bouncing it back. I mean, I assume they bounced the token, too. Land and play. 9 mana. They can really do whatever they want at this point. Shadow's Verdict takes the token. Hit for 7. Brutal. Blob in play. Let's go. Sequence out. Grab the land. The blocker. It is, well, it's actually tapped, but... Okay. Immediately dies. What am I thinking? And he sets up the punt. We've got a 5/6 blocker and a 4/5. You know, that double block, I guess. Reduces 1 to 3, 1 to 4. We still block for 7. Might be beneficial. They may also just have removal. They're digging for it. A dig-a-lig, baby. Now, I guess the question could have been asked, should we have tested that first deluge and slowed them? Probably. Should we have let Thirst go through and still held up double test? Yes. They have another Toxrill. You serious, bro? Or they have instant speed removal on one. We have tests, but they're just gonna bring it back. This is fine. Consider, don't care. Looking at the top, putting it to the grave or drawing. Get the double block. King Slug is gone. Just got baby slugs. Test the rebirth. That was the plan all along. Now we need to top deck a lot of really good cards. does shut down almost their entire deck. Except for the fact that they've got a hook to kill their own slugs at this. Oh, man, come on. We can gain life, though. And we can double drop this, which is very good. Right? I mean, that's 6 life a turn. That's... that might be enough. Activated my trap card. Gain 3 life. Gain 3 life. Let's see if we can win this. That would be so cool. Storm the Festival off the top. Memory Deluge. They're looking for another Hullbreaker Horror. They could just hard cast one of these horrors and we'll lose, right? It's a very good card. Please don't do it. Another slug. No, 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 no. Nice top decks. Well, they're drawing, so they're not even drawing. Draws are good. Yikes. Okay. It is something. We need to draw. Have the land. Nice. Would just lose the slugs. Let's hold off. Just don't see us win. They've got a meat hook, right? They can meat hook for so many points of damage. And I don't want to fall into it too hard. The plot thickens. Very much so. Memory Deluge. Again. How many times have they casted this? A few, for sure. Still think we're pretty screwed. Right? Absolute hooped. We kill the 2 slugs. Which is good. They get minus stun as well, which hurts. It's already on the stack, though. But we won't make the slugs, is the thing. We make the blob. Oh, it doesn't go out. They just get the counters, and when we play it, it'll die. Parasitic Grasp. They gain 3 life, kill the blob. Make a slug. Consider. So they're gonna. Well, even if they minus 6, now we're only getting hit for 1. So that's interesting. Fun match here. I'm having fun. We might just want these Sunrise to gain a bunch of life again, though, and just get on this life gain engine, right? It's hard to gain field advantage here. 4 cards in their hand that we don't see. 14 available mana. That's kind of crazy, right? So, if they get a Hullbreaker, it's over. It's so over. There's one in the grave. There's one Toxrill in the grave. But we know they have more. They're sacking the slugs to draw, looking for that Hullbreaker. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. They're just looking... Well, you know, I'm going to play the card that wins the game. Right? They found it. Guaranteed they just found it. They know that when we play Toxrill, their slugs just die, so they may as well get value from them here. They still have a ton of available mana. 3, 6, 8, 9, 10. It's a lot. They're burning through timeouts. Back another slug for a draw. Down to 8 available mana. Binding on the Sunrise. You dirty dog. Nice. That's a respectable play. Whoa! Ouch. That physically hurt me. I mean, they're gonna block the 5/4. I'm just angry at this point, right? Just angry at this point. So here comes the meat hook. They're gonna kill their own Toxrill. If they play the Hullbreaker and bounce these bindings back to their hand, we can just kind of laugh our way out. There it is. Shame on everyone involved. They get 3 slugs, which is pretty nice. Right? We only get the 1. They have 7 available mana for the Hullbreaker Horror. I mean, what else are we gonna do? They get the bindings back, which sucks. But, just like, get out of town, man. Get out of here. I don't know what the wait time is. Get roped, bruh. Ours is auto-selected. They keep a token. We're chilling. I think this match is probably over. Just for the fact that they have at least another Hullbreaker Horror, right? And then hook triggers that could potentially kill us as well. Interesting. Sequence. Out with the land. Sludge Monster is going to help push up the sequence. Or help push up the land. And then should we bounce the monster back to our hand? Just leave the 3/3 out there. But they still have 2 of them. Those bindings are saving the day for them. With no questions asked. Without these bindings, I think we'd be doing pretty well. We'd still have those sunrises in play. Well, that's that. See you later! Hullbreaker Horror is fine. Don't worry about it, you guys. Alrighty. Cool hand. Hashtag not. We need some ramp. What are these 5-drops doing here? Anything these ones are doing. Let's throw away the super slug. And we'll try to get after it. Land. Lots of land. Play the green source first. Green and black is a perfect turn 1. So I guess we're just going into the sunrise and then the tide. Welcoming Vampire is pretty cool. Venture. Let's go. I'm surprised that's not another land. I mean, kind of is. We have 2 black sources. I guess let's grab another. Well, we have 2 green sources too. I suppose it doesn't matter. Tied with the emergent sequence is quite nice. Let's see how far they fold in. Stowaway draws them a card off the vampire, which is good. Voice of the Blessed? Wow. Okay, this is... I'm getting clowned here. Hit for 4. Need the hook. They venture. We bounce everything. But the welcoming vampire? I assume. It's gonna be hard to say. I do like Consuming Tide. I think this is a good tempo card. They leave the token. We get to draw. No attacks. They did that the wrong way. So the thing about Consuming Tide is most people haven't interacted with it yet. They don't know how to use it, how to select those cards, because reading is hard. You know, I just look at pictures, and when this thing pops up, it's like, it's telling me to do something on the screen, but I can't read. Welcoming Vampire out. Suspicious Stowaway out here as well. They draw. They're getting good value from it. Sunrise in play. Let's grab some life. I think that's fairly decent. It offsets most of their damage. Cleric class is good. Are they going to gain life somehow? We haven't seen that yet. Let's just get this slug in play. Oh no. The Righteous Valkyrie is broken. Gain 2 life there. Wow. We're getting beat up here. Yikes. Maybe we get Toxrill out. Front blocker here. Right, just start killing some of their creatures, making slugs, and you know, Tide is a worst case scenario if they fold out again. Just that Righteous we just like have to get after that Righteous Valkyrie, right? And then if we give everything +1/+1 with the Sunrise, you know, maybe that can keep their life total down. Hopefully they don't draw planes here. Or just straight up nothing cleric. Back to 2/4. Shoot! This pesky Valkyrie. Don't you dare. Well, I guess they've got the, oh, they've got another Lunarch Veteran. That puts them to 28. Doesn't it? Don't adjust this card, Wizards. Just keep ignoring Righteous Valkyrie. It's fair and playable. Doesn't win literally every game that it's played in. Oh my gosh. Righteous Valkyrie's a joke. It's a big hit. We're down to 1. We're dead next turn. Righteous Valkyrie is so silly, man. What a joke. What a joke. A Joe walk. So Thing is, we're just dead. Because we don't have reach. You know what I mean? We're just dead because we don't have the reach, see? Also no hook. Tide doesn't save us. And I don't think 2 mana saves us either. Right? We just get hit for 1 here. Righteous Valkyrie. Fair and playable. Fair and playable card. Holy Toledos. I can't believe how awesome that slug off match was. You know, the mirror matches with Toxrill get pretty crazy because, you know, there's slime counters everywhere at this point. Hullbreaker Horror, you know, total 5-head card. What a fantastic card to put in really any deck, but I do feel like I am happiest when I'm being, you know, the most creative that I can possibly be. I do really like being competitive, but it's important for me to kind of play both sides of the fence to not burn out, right? So, you know, yes, you could put the Hullbreaker Horror in this deck. It would be absolutely fantastic, but by no means do you need to. The deck operates really well the way it is, and, you know, just take a break from the world's most broken card, right? It's like, Hullbreaker Horror, Righteous Valkyrie, let's go. That's enough complaining out of me for the day. Holy Toledos. You know, let me know what you thought in the comments of the deck. As always, really appreciate all of the engagement. We're going to get into card of the day. All right, here we go. Oh, let's get it up on the big screen. You already know what it is before it focuses. Will it focus? Come on, camera. There we go. The Kargon Intimidator for 2 mana. This is a 3/1 creature, human warrior. Cowards can't block warriors. Choose one that hasn't been chosen. It gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Target creature becomes a coward until the end of turn, or target warrior gains trample until the end of turn. And that is a full art, not hollow, but it's still pretty sexy. We love it, we love it. And big shout out to Titan Shield. You can find their link in my link tree if you're looking to protect your cards as well. Wolf, have a magical day. We'll see you soon in the next.